Hello, good to have you on the program again, and of course it is the economy today, and so this day we'll still discuss the economy and find out how best we can handle matters concerning this economy and how best they can serve us effectively, these matters in the economy. Okechukwu Onubogu here, and of course this day again I do have a guest with whom I will discuss certain factors concerning the economy on the program this day. And I have a female guest today. But before I tell you who she is, or before I even show you her face, I would want to say that we need to first of all take our news beats. Then after the news beats, we'll come and share a bit about the stock exchange. Then we'll return and I'll introduce my female guest who, let me give you a peek into it, who is an apiculturist. Aha. So you ask, who is an apiculturist? Stay on the program and you'll find out who an apiculturist is and this beautiful guest that I have today on the program. You get to meet her. Let's take our news bits before the stock market talk, then we'll return. Radial Farms Limited set to become the biggest oil palm company in Nigeria. The oil palm sector in Nigeria is witnessing unprecedented growth, presenting investors with lucrative opportunities to generate substantial returns. With global demand for palm oil continuing to surge, Nigeria, a leading player in Africa, remains a hub for agricultural investment. Radial Farms Limited is driving a major transformation in Nigeria's oil palm sector, creating opportunities for economic growth, job creation, and community development. The strong performance of Nigeria's oil palm industry reflects the sector's profitability and resilience. Presco plc, a leading player in the industry, reported a pre-tax profit of 128 billion naira in 2024, a 156.05% increase from the previous year, with total revenue reaching 198.1 billion naira. The growth highlights the expanding opportunities within Nigeria's oil palm market. FG unveils new SME loan initiative to ease funding access. In a major boost for small businesses, the federal government has announced plans to launch a groundbreaking initiative aimed at providing easier access to loans for small and medium enterprises, SMEs, across Nigeria. The Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Senator John Eno, disclosed this during the Renewed Hope Global Virtual Conference 2025. He acknowledged the persistent challenges SMEs face in securing financial support, particularly from commercial banks, and revealed that the new initiative will be implemented in collaboration with First City Monument Bank, FCMB. Speaking on the initiative, Senator Eno emphasized the government's commitment to empowering small businesses. In the coming weeks, we expect to announce a collaboration that will enable thousands of small business owners to access funding more easily, he stated. The partnership with FCMB aims to streamline loan disbursement, ensuring that micro and small enterprises nationwide can secure the financial support they need for growth and stability. The BOI has been instrumental in supporting businesses, but I recognize the hurdles many small enterprises face in accessing loans. We are actively engaging with the BOI to streamline these processes and make funding more accessible, he said. Beyond financing, Senator Eno reiterated the government's broader agenda, which includes industrial expansion, enhanced digital innovation, and improved funding access to strengthen Nigeria's economic. That's it. We've got to see our news bits to share what we have in the news bits. But from the news bits, we'll talk a bit about the things we have on the stock exchange. Just a bit, as I said. Then we'll return again. So let's look at the stock exchange stories that I have, or story that I have. Yes, looking at what you have seen now, of course, is the Nigeria Stock Exchange, and we're looking at a glance kind of the things that have happened recently in the Nigeria Stock Exchange. The volume that we've had, that for which we're talking, is 478,607,440. That's the volume traded, and the value is at 11.76 billion naira, of course. Then the deals we have had for this day, 15.561 deals, and talking about the index, it's 106,574, then 98. So 106,574.98. That's the index. And looking at the market capital, it's been 66.50 trillion naira that we've had in the market capital. 66.50 trillion naira is what we have seen that we have in the market generally, the market capital for the day that is just ended. And the first one is on being talked about, and we'll still get to find out and share with you in the later editions of the program as we go on. But let me also let you know that in the market there are losers, there are gainers, and there are people who have put in a lot more than the others. These are all part of what we find in the stock exchange market, in the stock market. But I wouldn't be able to mention all of it this day as a result of certain factors. But then I'm happy that you can see what we have on here is important to let you know that talking about the equities, and we do have facts that are of importance for us to share on the program. There are United Bank for Africa PLC, and of course there is also the Zenith Bank PLC. These are the major banking services companies that are there right now for premium board services, premium board securities, and financial services. We have these two. We also have other financial institutions as Access Holdings PLC, DBN Holdings, and yet other financial institutions still, and their services all going on at a time like this in the stock market. And looking at what we have said that we have with United Bank for Africa, UBA has the market capital 1.326937, while what it has for the price is well, the percentage rather than the price is 1.44, while they have the trading going on, and they have traded 26.80. That's the price for now. And for the other one, that is talking about the first bank, the second bank, the Zenith Bank PLC, we have had 108.882.3, and the price has been 84.50, and the percentage is 0.08. So there is still a hope for other things that will still be happening in this trading, but I will not be able to mention all of it this day. But as we go on, I'll be able to mention the others. That's just where I'll let it be for now. We'll return with other stories as we go on the program. Thank you so much, and we'll welcome you back again. Right now, let me introduce my guest, the guest that will be with me on the program today. She is really someone that I will say a precious person. You understand why I said that? And she is Precious Orji. Precious Orji is an apiculturist, and she's here to give us some precious information we need to help the economy of the nation. Precious, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. just as I've just mentioned, we have a topic, please, and the topic for the day is what has to do with the economy, as I've mentioned. I expect to see the topic while I'm talking. Please let me see the topic. Yes, enhancing food security in Nigeria. Enhancing food security in Nigeria. And agriculture, aquaculture rather, and sustainable development. Aquaculture and sustainable development. How can sorry, not aquaculture, apiculture. How can apiculture help us to have sustainable development in the country at a time like this? And this, of course, is what will help us to have enhanced food security in Nigeria. Well, Precious, let's talk about it. How do we get to have you tell us about all this? What is, in the first place, apiculture? Because some people looking at me now are lost. It's okay, you're here to bring them back. Tell us first what apiculture is.
Okay. First of all, the word apiculture came from the scientific name of bees, which is Apis mellifera. They say apiculture. Okay. So what is apiculture? Apiculture is the art of keeping bees either for recreation or to get bee products like honey, beeswax, propolis, royal jelly, or pollen, and the most popular one, which we all know as honey.
That's the major one everybody looks at. In actual fact, let's even go into it. You're telling us that in apiculture, which is the cultivation of honey from the bees and some other products that you just said, just as we have in the petroleum products, you know, is when we take the crude oil, we bring in other things apart from just PMS, that is the fuel, the petrol that we are looking for. There is the fuel, there is the gas, there is the what do you call the other one, the kerosene, and all these. Incidentally, apart from all these, there are still some other derivatives from it. So it is with beekeeping.
Yes.
Mention those ones again. Let's take them one by one.
There is the honey, the royal jelly.
Please, I want to plead with you to try to speak up a little more.
Okay, okay.
So that we can hear you quite well.
Okay, yes. Okay. There is the honey. There's the royal jelly.
Royal jelly.
There's the pollen.
Yes. Now, what is royal jelly?
Okay. Royal jelly is made from nurse bees. Yes, nurse bees inside the hive. So this is what the bees feed to their queen bees. Yes. So they feed it to their queen bees, and actually this makes her different from the other bees because she's the only reproductive female in the hive. Oh,
so the queen is the only one that is reproductive.
Yes.
But it's not that
she's only one. There's only one queen bee in a hive.
Whoa! Only one queen bee in a hive.
Yes. So these nurse bees, they're the ones that produce this royal jelly, and they feed it to the queen bee from when she's a larva to when she's mature. They feed her royal jelly.
Really?
Yes.
This is royalty indeed.
Yeah. And if you see the queen bee in the hive, she's the biggest in the hive, and she's the only reproductive female.
Whoa!
So you can have in a hive, in a colony, you can have like 15,000 worker bees and then only one queen bee. Wow. And then this queen bee, she lays about 1,500 to 1,000 eggs daily.
Eggs daily?
Yes.
And about 1,500? And there are about 1,500 worker bees there?
About 10,000 to 15,000 worker bees.
Okay, and this one that is being laid is just on a daily basis?
Yes.
Whoa. Okay.
So you have only one queen bee.
Now, looking at it, you've now told us about this. There is another thing. There are two other ones you've mentioned. Yes.
Yes. There's the propolis.
What is propolis, please?
Okay, propolis is bees make it from raisins, from tree raisins. So they go around and pick raisins from different trees, and they produce it and they turn it into propolis. So this propolis, they use it to patch holes inside the hive. Let's say there's a hole in their home where it's leaking. Yes. So they just use it to patch it. So that's what they use propolis to do. But this propolis, they also use it for medicine. because the bees are actually very intelligent, very organized. Yes, because inside the hive they have what we call a bee hospital, where they just keep their sick bees and injured bees. So they also use it as medicine inside the hive. The
propolis.
Yes, the propolis. Yes.
So there is a hospital in the hive of the bees.
Yes, there is.
Okay. Then go ahead.
So this propolis actually is also very healthy to humans as well.
Okay.
Yes, if you notice that you can use propolis to make things like toothpaste. Yes, toothpaste, and also pharmaceuticals. It's also good for stomach ulcers and the rest.
Whoa, that's good.
Yes.
Now, looking at it, there is also another.
Beeswax.
Yes, wax.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Okay, this beeswax is made. This is where the worker bees store both their honey, their larva. This is where the queen lays her egg. Yes. So this beeswax inside the hive is in hexagonal shapes.
Okay.
Yes. So this beeswax, we get it after squeezing and taking out our honey. Then the remaining one is the beeswax.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a process in which we extract the beeswax, and this beeswax is of great economic importance.
Please tell us. Yes. This is the economy today.
Yes. Because this beeswax, you can use it to produce a lot of products.
Okay.
We have the lip balm. I have one here.
Please bring. Let's see.
Yes, this lip balm is very, very good and healthy because it has anti-inflammatory properties, antimicrobial properties, and is natural.
Okay.
Yes, you can see this is made of beeswax and honey.
Yes. It's made of
beeswax and honey.
Yes. Really? Yes. And that is lip balm.
Yes, it is.
Do we, apart from the fact that you are involved, so you know this, have we had enough of this produced in commercial quantity that somebody can go to the market or to the stores and buy that kind of lip balm? Because this one is a healthy one.
Okay, not yet, because when you're talking about honey, most people don't even know bee products.
Yes.
They only know honey. Yes, so now I'm talking about beeswax. It's like a new thing, a new word to a lot of people.
Yes, including myself.
So when you go out in market, there is not a lot of honey or beeswax made lip balm.
Okay.
You only find it very few.
Very few.
Yeah.
And definitely as a result of this, it will also be on the high side, talking about the cost.
Yeah, but it's not very expensive because people don't know about it much. Okay. So you cannot be selling it very expensive when they don't know
about it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I will look out for one myself. That's what I'm asking.
And it's very good because once you use it on your lips, it keeps your lips moist throughout the days, and it can also act as a sunscreen for your lips.
Really?
Yes, because there's a time when I first made this, I gave it to my mom. She was using it for her face. I don't know how she found out that she can also use it for her eyes to protect her eyes from the sun. So she started putting it on her eyes. I was like, she was like, that she noticed that when she puts it, it protects her eyes from the sun. From sun.
The rays of the sun.
Yes.
Okay.
It can protect your lips.
Thank you so much. We are still talking about apiculture and sustainable development in the country. Precious, looking at these products, the one that is generally known. Oh yes, I think there's something else you said that before we came in here, that it could be used to the wax. The wax could be used for as
shoe polish.
Yes. So these are the things that we can get. Shoe polish.
Yes, it can be used for shoe polish, table polish, hair cream, body cream, and it's very medicinal. So
there's a lot. It's not just the honey. Yes. There's a lot that comes out from it.
Yes, a whole lot. Apart from that, beeswax can be used to preserve fruits. Yes, fruits like apple, tomato. We can just, instead of using all the chemicals to preserve it, we can just rub this beeswax on them. Use it to coat it, and it to make it to be able to stay longer before rotting. And of course, since it is from the bee, it's not harmful. That when you wash it, you can just eat it without trying to scrape it. That may be why I have seen
maybe that could be what they're using to. In these apples, sometimes when you buy apples, after washing it, if you use something that is sharp, like razor blade, to scrape, you see something like wax coming out from it.
Yes.
So that's
they use it over there to preserve things like apples.
Okay, so that it doesn't matter. Even if we don't remove that thing, it's still not
it's
unhealthy.
Not harmful. It's
not
natural.
harmful. Okay. That's good. So people like, I have done it many times. When I buy apple, most of the time, I try to scrape off the wax thing in front, on top. But now we're learning, I've learned, that it's not harmful. That wax is still from the bee, so it's something that is good for the body. It's healthy.
Yes.
So if you have been doing like myself, please stop. Please stop. Let's not be too careful and forget and in ignorance be extra careful. Let's do the right thing and continue the right way to have what we need to have. Okay, we're still talking about bees, the cultivation of honey from the bee, and that is the apiculture and other things that are aligned to it. And of course, my guest here still remains Precious Orji, who is an apiculturist. Okay, we will continue to talk about this, but I just want to take a break and return in a moment.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTANTV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Take a look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
KAFTAN Television, where we imagine a beautiful world. And so, of course, the beauty of the world will also be brought to bear when you show the things that have to help the world be beautiful. And that's why today on enhancing food security in Nigeria, under the program, of course, The Economy Today, we're talking about apiculture and sustainable development. And what is apiculture? In the common man's way, word, in the simple English word, it is beekeeping. But you know, when you say apiculture, it's not just only beekeeping. There are other things that my guest has explained today. So that's why I'll prefer to say apiculture, because it's all enhancing. But for the sake of those who may not still get to have it well, let's say beekeeping once in a while as we go on. Now, I want to come back to you, Precious. What is honey? And how do we get to have it?
Okay. When you look at honey, you see the hard work of so many bees.
Yes. So many bees?
So many bees.
Okay.
If not hundreds or thousands of bees.
Okay.
Yes, because the process of producing this honey is something that is very fascinating.
Tell us more
amazing.
about it. Yes, let's know.
Yes, because a bee can only produce 1 teaspoon of honey all its lifetime.
Wow, 1 teaspoon?
Yes, of
one
honey.
teaspoon.
Just one bee can only produce 1 teaspoon of honey for all its lifetime.
Oh,
yes. And they go through so many stress of going out, collecting nectar, working so hard just to produce this 1 teaspoon of honey. That's why whenever you see people coming close to the hive, like they want to steal the hive, they're actually very aggressive because
they've gone through so much work.
Yes, because in the hive, only the female worker bees produce honey.
Really?
Yes, because
so there are female worker bees and male worker bees.
Yes, that's the drone. The male worker bees are called the drones.
The drones.
They are few in number in the hives. They don't do anything. Their only work is to mate with the queen.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the hive, we have the drone, we have the worker bees, and then we have the queen bee.
Okay.
The queen bee is only one. Then we can have like 1,000 to 5,000 drones. Then the bees can be 20,000 to 15,000 worker bees. So these worker bees are females, but they are not reproductive.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Since you've said it's only the queen that does the reproduction process.
Yes. So these worker bees, they are the ones that feed the queen bee.
And feed the drones.
And feed the drones sometimes too.
Okay.
Yeah. So and they also take care of the hive. They clean the hive. They feed the larvae. They make sure the hive is neat. They take care of sick bees in the hive, and they still go out to produce nectar, to look for nectar to produce honey. Wow. So every day they go out. So at very far distance in search of nectar. That's flowers. So when they get this nectar, they take it back to their hive. So once they get to the hive, at the entrance of the hive, there's what we call the bee dance. So this bee dance, bees are actually very interesting. That's why I said the process of making this honey is something very fascinating and amazing.
Okay.
Yes. So this bee dance is called the waggle dance. So this dance actually shows the other bees the location where they got the nectar, so that the next day the other bees can also go there that same place.
For that same nectar there.
Yes. So it's such. Let me. Okay.
Yeah, try and show us. You've been seeing it, so you can show us a bit of it.
They do like this. So if they're doing like this, the amount of flaps, meaning like this is the how long the place is. Then if they do like this, meaning is this place. Then like this is this place. Then this is the distance. And they're also very good at
mathematics.
Yes.
Please explain. Explain.
They are good at math. This is the math now, like longitude and latitude.
Yes, and
in the dance.
This is good.
Yes. So once they do that at the entrance, so the other bees already know, okay, this is where they got the nectar from. Yes. So now they go inside. Once they now go inside the hive, the nectar that they've collected, they now pass it through different mouths, worker bees in the hive. So what they do is that they chew, they regurgitate, they mix it with some hormones, and they pour it out. So once they pour it out to all these, to the, like I said, the beeswax are cells, like hexagonal shaped cells inside the hive.
Yes.
So hive is actually bee homes. So once they will now put that nectar that they've regurgitated through different mouths several times and mixed it with hormones in their stomach and pour it out. So once they pour it out in those cells, they will now start farming it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what we can, talking about these cells now, using these like ice block containers that we normally put in the freezer. You know, different walls, there are different cells, that kind of thing.
Yes,
they this time expanded, enhanced, and smaller. That's what they do.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. And
so they now start fanning it.
They
fan it several times until once they are fanning it with their wings, they are removing the moisture from the
it.
From the honey. So once they are done removing the moisture, then it becomes honey.
Hold it, let's look at it, take it off, because so that's why I asked you to bring it so that we can see.
From what they've regurgitated, they'll now seal it again with wax. So that's why when beekeepers go to the bee, once they carry the wax like this, it doesn't drip because it has been sealed.
Yes, it's been sealed. They seal it.
They seal it.
These things are so industrious. so hardworking. I wonder how they, it is God anyway,
so
that give them all that wisdom.
Because they stress themselves so much to make this honey, the worker bees' lifespan is reduced.
Okay. They
Yes.
don't live long.
They don't live long. Maybe 2 to 3 weeks, they are gone.
Weeks?
Yes.
A matter of weeks?
Yes.
So how do they keep reproducing? How do they
like
keep
I said, the queen bee
keeps doing that?
Keeps laying egg. She lays about 1,000 to 1,500
on a daily
eggs
basis.
on a daily basis.
Wow, this queen is...
And the most interesting thing is that the queen bee only mates once in her lifetime. But she keeps laying egg for about 5 years. So
just from that one meeting,
yes.
Maybe like one day he could make with so many of them,
yes.
And after that, that ends
so
it.
let me shock you.
Please do.
So they call it nocturnal flight.
Yes, because it's at night.
Yes, so the queen bee goes out only once in her lifetime from the hive. So once she goes out with her guards.
Yes.
There are always bees guarding her. So once she goes out, so the drones, I say, they are the main male bees.
The male ones.
Yes, and their only purpose is to reproduce, is to mate with the queen. So these male bees, once they sight the queen bee, they start raising to her. So once you get to her, she will tear you open and take
the sperm from the male.
Yes, she will take it and put it inside her.
So not that the male will come to her to start doing the anything.
No,
oh my
she
God.
will tear it and take it. And once any drone comes to her, you are dead.
Oh, of course, yes. Because she will tear one open and collect all the things, and it's gone. Yes, they keep struggling to go. So they know the end, but they are struggling to go for it.
That's the interesting thing.
Hey!
So I don't know if the bees are actually, the drones, maybe they know they are going to die and they are going to sacrifice themselves
for that.
Yes, or maybe they don't know.
But I mean, when one comes and sees that one is dying, the others will have gone. But they keep going. This is their nature anyway. Let me just take hold of one, just throw it close to me, and say that this is what is referred, what is known, what is the main honey, because this is from the beekeeper that brought it, and I asked for it so that we will see, not just talking about it, we will see. And honestly, looking at this thing, it makes me feel that I have maybe, the only time I took real honey was when I was a kid. Because I've never seen this type since I became an adult. I only saw this when I was about 10 years, under 10. Oh, no, it used to be in our homes. So when I got to, after about 10 to 15 years before, you know, when I left home and went to the boarding house and all that, and I never have seen this. This is so good. And of course, since it is like this, that explains the next thing I want to tell you. It explains why there is adulteration, so much of it in the country today. Because I have 3 different bottles of honey that are in my house right now, but none of it is like this. None of it is close to what I'm saying now. So definitely, not minding the fact that the producers have told me that it is original and all that. It's fake. It's all fake. Different levels of fakeness or fakery. That's what we have found out about this. Is it because of this that it is now so difficult to have the real good honey?
Like with what I've explained, if you look at the lifespan of bees, and with the fact that they only produce 1 teaspoon of honey for their all their lifespan, that's why it's so hard for them to actually produce original honey. Yes. Because it takes long. Yes. So for a beekeeper to actually produce and harvest, like set up your hive, you have to wait for some certain period of time for the bees to produce their honey. And you also have to put the environment, the availability of food for the bees before harvesting honey. Because if you just go there and then you take the honey, you might have taken the bees food, and if you do that, they might not be able to survive.
So you need to provide where they'll be getting their food from.
Yes, That's why sometimes when you keep hive, you have to also provide some amount of forage, some flowers for them. Yes. So this is why some people that are not patient go ahead to adulterate.
Yes.
Because if you want to produce original honey, you have to be able to be patient.
Yes, patience is involved.
Yes. Because now, from the process of keeping your hive, waiting for bees to enter inside the hive, for the bees to produce the honey, and for the right season and time to harvest the honey, it takes a lot of patience. And sometimes even after going there to finally harvest your honey, you might not get a lot quantity.
Yes, that you would have needed.
That you want.
Okay.
Yes. So this is why there's so much adulteration, and beekeepers face a lot of challenges in the sense of climate change, deforestation, and lack of awareness. People are not very aware of the importance of bee to the Nigerian economy. They are not aware of the products of bees, so they go ahead to vandalize and destroy beekeepers' hives.
Okay.
Yes. So all these factors leads to frustration of some beekeepers and the adulteration of honey.
Yes, it goes on that way.
Yes.
Now, the economic importance of bee as a whole to the society cannot be overemphasized.
Yes.
We need to hear some of it sometimes. Can you just help us hear some of it? And you know, this beekeeping, it's not something that just started 2 years back.
No.
Give us a bit of the history. Let's talk about it.
Okay. Beekeeping is something that has been here since, I think, since the beginning of man.
Okay.
Yes, because it has been, even in the Bible, you'll see some places where they say a land filled with milk and honey.
Yes, and this is the honey we're talking about.
And even honey, yes, honey has been found in the tombs of ancient Israelites. So even in Nigeria, honey is something that's been going on for centuries. And we have bee hunters that go to even like you said, the last time you tested the original honey was when you were a child.
Ago, yes.
So that's a story that's been in existence for a very
50
long
years ago, or even slightly less.
Yes, so it has been in existence for a very long time. So, but then, before, what we were practicing was bee hunting. When we go ahead to kill the bees and collect the honey. So it has been around for a very long time. The only thing that has changed is the process of producing honey and the research and now the knowledge of the importance of bees to the environment.
Okay. So now that it is like this, are you telling us that this practice is economically viable?
Yes, it is.
How viable do you think it can be? Tell us.
Okay. I know a lot of people know Albert Einstein.
Yes.
He made this quote. He said, if bees were to disappear from the surface of the earth, humans will also disappear after some time.
If bees were to disappear from the surface of the earth, humans will also disappear after some time.
Yes.
Albert Einstein.
Yes.
Thank you for that, because I'm going to keep this for a long time.
Thank you.
Okay. So that means it's really of great importance to the life of human beings and the economy.
Yes. Because bees, they pollinate our crops.
Yes. That's crop pollination. Yes. So that's it. So when they are no longer there to pollinate, there will be trouble.
Yes, there is. There will be, because if they don't pollinate your crops, because Albert Einstein said bees make up 75% of pollination.
Okay. Bee makes up bees make up 75% of pollination.
Yes, so pollinators.
Pollinators, yes. Because there are other pollinators.
Yes.
But 75% of it
are bees.
Okay. Okay.
So if they were to die out, there will be a problem.
Big problem.
Yes. So we have to preserve these bees. And when you look at it, places where our bees have been kept, they've found a significant increase in crop yields. Like now in Nigeria economy, we're talking about the price of tomatoes, pepper, and some other crops.
Yes.
Yes. So I think if farmers can incorporate bees to their farm, they can see a significant yield in crops. In places where we've kept our hives, we've noticed that some of the crops there, they grow larger and they yield more.
Because of the bee pollination.
Yes, yes. So in Makani Sustainable Solution, we're planning on going on a campaign, which is one farmer, one hive.
Makani Sustainable Solution.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So one farmer, one hive.
One farmer, one hive.
Yes.
So you want to promote that every farmer should have a hive.
Yes.
So as to help in the agricultural products of that farmer.
And the Nigerian economy.
And the Nigerian economy above all else. Okay, that is great. That is really great, thinking about this. We will be thinking of rounding off, but then let's just take a little time to say, looking at these things, let me go a little further. Is there any medicinal value that these have for human beings?
Yes. Honey has a lot of medicinal values. When you look at honey is antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory. So it has a lot of healing values.
Okay.
Yes. I met one friend, he had an accident. So the wounds was very deep. But he started using honey and he noticed that it grew his flesh back.
How do you mean using honey? Taking it?
No, rubbing it on the injury.
Honey on the injury.
Original honey, real one.
Of course.
Real one.
Because you know when you get the fake one and start rubbing and you expect it to work for you.
Yes.
Okay, so you can apply this really on the surface of the skin where there is a problem.
Yes.
And it helps to heal.
Yes. So it also helps to in digestion.
Digestion, yes, it helps in talking about digestion for a human being. Okay, so that means, let me ask you, Precious, would you advise me to go into beekeeping?
Yes.
And if you do, is it going to be, can I be smiling to the banks as I go into it? Because I've seen some people talk about this one. I'll soon get one of those practitioners here talking about snail keeping and all that, how wonderful it is. But I have tried to keep snail and I've not seen all these wonderful things. So what about this beekeeping? Are you advising that if I go into it, that something great will come out from it? Tell me.
Yes, if you go into beekeeping, something great will come out from it, especially if you're a farmer.
Yeah.
Because you are killing two birds
using
with
one stone to kill two birds.
Yes,
okay.
Because the bees will help your plants to yield more without needing so many chemical fertilizers. And with the bees, you can produce a lot of bee products like honey, beeswax. From the beeswax, you can go into byproducts like body cream, hair cream, shoe polish, table polish, lip balm, and even food preservative, like I was talking about. Yes, even cosmetics too. Anti-aging, like the royal jelly I was talking about.
Yes.
Yes, the royal jelly is very good for anti-aging.
Really?
You can buy some anti-aging cream and you see the ingredients. Royal jelly.
Okay, royal jelly. I see.
So your banks can be smiling.
Yes, my banks. I can be smiling to my banks effectively, and the banks will be happy with me. That's good. So that way, it's looking at the economy of the nation today, we need things that will help the economy, things that we can do to enhance even food security. Because now, food security, I think you have explained this food security side of the story. Because I wanted to ask you, how secure can we talk about our food with honey or beekeeping around us? But I think you've done it, talking about the fact that they help to pollinate the things we have in our food, in the farms, and even helps in the digestion of what we eat and all that. Okay, thank you so much. Now, I want to ask, is there anything else I've not talked about you will want to say concerning the effective use of apiculture or beekeeping to Nigerians and the economy? Okay,
yes. I think for beekeeping to actually be able to help the Nigerian economy, to significantly help the Nigerian economy, the government should do things like having policies around beekeeping and deforestation, vandalization of beehives, which will help beekeepers immensely. And also with creation of awareness, because when you look at Nigeria, beekeeping is still like a baby industry.
Business, yes. Baby industry.
And a lot of people still do not know the advantages of bees. They still don't know that bees can help them in their pollination. They don't know bee products. They only know honey.
Yeah, that's what everybody knows.
Yes.
That's what everybody knows.
So government can come in providing, helping the beekeepers to create awareness on beekeeping.
Okay.
Yes, and also funding of trainings.
Yes, funding of training programs. Yes.
Training programs in beekeeping. And also what I was talking about that time, that adulteration, a lot of adulteration is happening because of the deforestation, the climate change. So sometimes, due to climate change, beekeepers work with the climate. Yes, they work with the ecology. Yes, they work with weather condition. So we have season for harvesting, season for placing our hives. And sometimes because of the climate change, we might not get as much honey as we have calculated to. Yes. So the government can come in providing grants, funding for beekeepers, incentives, and also something like insurance.
Insurance, okay.
Yes, and policies around beekeeping.
Yes, because I mean, this insurance is important to talk about, apart from the fact that some difficult things can come in the farms. There could be fire outbreak and all that. And even health, for the health of the person. Because if someone is stung by the bee, can it kill? Does it really kill, or after a while it will stop?
Okay.
Because I know you normally wear caps and things like that to cover yourselves, gowns or whatever. I don't know what you call it.
Okay, bee suit. We call it
bee suit. Yes. To cover yourselves. Okay. But if by any means there's a mistake, this thing gets on the body. What happens?
Okay. There's a lot of research around beekeeping and bee venom. Yes, bee venom. That is what it gives you once it stings you.
Once it stings.
Yes. So bee venom is actually very healthy. It boosts the immune system. It can help with disease like arthritis, rheumatism, and so on. It's actually very expensive, but it's also capital intensive.
Yes.
To be able to harvest bee venom. Yes. So, but when we're talking about killing somebody, some people can be allergic to
such venoms that will be sent into their bodies.
Just like some people are allergic to honey too.
Yes, some
people can be allergic to bee venom. Because me, sometimes I even sting myself.
Okay, with the bee.
With the bee, because
so as to help your system.
Yes, because it boosts the immune system. And I notice sometimes after stinging myself, it actually gives me some kind of relief and energy. Yes, so it can be very, very, very healthy. Okay. Yes, but some people can be allergic to it, which can lead to death. Just like you can be allergic to so many other things.
Yes. Okay, finally, is there any way the production of this thing, is it very, how is it cost effective? Is it what someone can just enter into with maybe 500, 100,000, 50,000? That kind of thing. How is it what someone can just start without any assistance?
Yes, it is. You know what they say, it's important to think big and start small.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have there are different types of hive. We have the KTB, which is Kenya top bar. We have flow hive. We have Langstroth. Yes, and we also have local hives, which is being produced with all these straws and the clay.
Okay.
So you can start from
the local ones.
The local ones. You can also start from Kenya top bar, which is less expensive, and you also can produce a lot of honey too.
Okay.
Yes.
And the second part of it is, is there any need for government assistance financially for people who are apiculturists?
Yes, a lot. Like I've been saying since the beekeeping is not something that is consistent. Even the honey is not consistent because you'll see honey. That's why it's also very hard to know original and fake honey, because it depends on what the bees give you and the ecology, the forage in that area, the biodiversity in the area where the bees are kept.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh well, dear viewer, you have heard it all. You've heard my guest Precious Orji handling this matter in a beautiful way and leading us to some things we never knew and we didn't understand. That is just talking about apiculture, how it affects the economic situation in our land, and even not just Nigeria, but in life, how it affects the economy. And so there are certain basic things I must say that we've held on to, that if you are involved, definitely if you do it well, you will smile to the banks. And you also be of great assistance to the others because your product is highly needed by everyone. And I pray that those who are doing the fake one should desist from doing that, because that is not helping us. It's not helping any situation at all. One more time I want to say thank you for being here, Precious. It's a pleasure having you on the program, The Economy Today. And I want to say, I will invite you again. I hope you would oblige me.
I will.
Okay, because we want to talk. There are some people who want to hear more. And so what I always tell my guests, if you come and we like what you've done, we will tell you that you'll come again. I must tell you, I've enjoyed every bit of our stay.
Thank you.
You'll come again. Thanks a lot. And so, dear viewer, that's how I'll be rounding up what we have today, but I wouldn't forget to say special thanks to Ihanyi, not Orji this time, because I've just talked about an Orji here, so that one is what has come, but then it's Ihanyi Ugoji, so there's still Orji in his name. So Ihanyi Ugoji, and not forgetting to mention Habib. Habib, thank you so much for being there for me today, and of course, Obed, thanks a lot. Victor, thank you. And may the best happen to all of us. I always say, Victor Chizea, thank you all for being there for me. May the best happen to us on a constant note. Okechukwu Onubogu here saying, God bless you.